Hey guys, and welcome to the channel. So this episode we're going to be explaining what's going on with the Bonanza lately, a couple little changes that are going to be happening to the channel overall, and what we're going to be doing to this red 1959 Corvette behind me. So let me go ahead and roll the clip about what's happening with the channel and the Bonanza, and then we'll dive into the car. Okay, now let's talk about the Bonanza. So I sold the Bonanza. I'm just going to come out and say that. Let me explain why. The partners that I was going in on the Bonanza with, we all sat down and kind of decided, you know what, maybe this big of a financial responsibility is not smart right now. One of them is getting engaged, and both of them together started a flight school. So maybe a little later on down the road we can do something like this, but right now it just didn't make sense. And the reason why was because if we were going to do it, we were going to do it right. So which means a new engine with a hydraulic prop, new paint, new interior, Avendyne GPS system. We wanted to do everything as well as we could, and that cost a lot of money. So maybe right now, you know, it just wasn't the right thing to do. Not to worry, the guy we sold it to is a really cool guy. He's become a great friend of mine personally. I think he's going to be a great addition to our little friend group at the airport, and his plans are to restore the Bonanza the same way we were. So, having said that, the Bonanza project videos will still be coming. We will still be uploading and videoing all the progress as we go. And quite frankly, now that we're adding another person to that scope, honestly, it should just make it that much more fun. So anyways, that's what's going on with the Bonanza right now. We should be working on it again either this week or next week. So we should be doing stuff to it very soon. Now that we've got that out of the way, back to the Corvette. So here it is. It's a 1959 convertible Corvette. Got belled me today too, by the way. And it has a leak on the carburetor. Now I was here the other night and I found out that it looks like it's coming from the accelerator pump. And what I'll do is I'll go ahead and take this air cleaner off real quick so I can show y'all where exactly and what exactly I'm talking about. So the accelerator pump is this little armature right here, and when I move the throttle, well, I don't really know how well that's shown up on camera. It might not be doing it as much now, but anyways, there's a little gasket underneath there where the accelerator pump like rod is, and it's leaking fuel pretty good whenever you push down on the throttle. So that's what we have to address and fix. Down in there you can see the fuel puddling right there on that side, and right there in that little crevice little area, and then it's puddled up pretty good over there on the other side of the engine. You can see right there, I mean, that's a pretty good sized puddle, and that's just an accident waiting to happen that we're going to try to avoid if we can help it. So to get started, we're going to rip that carburetor off because we know it's going to need to come off so that we can address that leak. While we're at it, might as well just replace the other gaskets for both fuel bowls. You know, why not, since we're already here, and clean the intake manifold. Something else we're going to check, which we'll go ahead and do before we take the carburetor off, is I'm going to pull a couple spark plugs because I think it's running rich, and the spark plugs are going to tell the tale on whether or not it is or it isn't. So let's go ahead and do that and see what they look like. Guys, carburetor off, which is good, and it did not leak, just as predicted. But it just goes to show, I mean, you can see even more so now how dirty the intake is, so this is really going to need to be addressed. Okay, so now I've got the carburetor off the car, and we're going to start taking it apart. I've got all the spare parts right here that we're going to use. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to take this front bowl off. I'm thinking that by now, since it's been sitting for a little bit, since I've shot the first part on the first video, that there's a chance that the fuel evaporated out, but I don't know. So I've got some mats down here in case it doesn't. So it's 4 screws on the corners here. We'll pull this off and see what we've got inside. part of the carburetor that was leaking, which is this little area right here. This is the accelerator pump, and this is the little gasket diaphragm kind of deal that goes underneath here. So we're gonna take this off, remove it, replace that, clean all this up pretty well, and put it all back together. Carburetor bowl just reeks of old musty raw fuel from it having been sitting for so long. Now what we're doing is we're removing the 4 screws that hold the accelerator pump in. We're gonna gently just wiggle it to break the seal. We're gonna set that right there. We're gonna set the spring with it. Oh yeah, look at all the crusty nastiness in there. Look at all that right there. That's all the nasty crap that just came out of that carburetor. Alright, look. First things first, this gasket.
Okay, I can figure that part out.
Alright, so go ahead and set that on. It goes on any way. It's completely symmetric. Just make sure it lines up. Move that, there you go. Push that down, just get it out of the way. Good. Alright.
Done.
Grab the carburetor.
I'm not carrying this around that car.
No, you're totally fine. It's not heavy. This side goes on the passenger side, that side's on the driver's side. So this is the front. There you go. All right, you got it, hun. No worries. All right. Now lean over onto the fender cover. There you go. And set it down nice and gently and try to line it up best you can. All right, how's that looking?
Not great.
You might have to pick up the back corner of the carburetor a little bit there and use your other hand to kind of grab the corner of the bottom of the gasket and just move it around a little bit until it looks like it's lined up. And then once you can see down in there, then you can put the screw in. How's that work?
I just can't lean over far enough to see it. But yeah, I think it's, no, that's not it. I just can't see the hole.
All right, well, you got to line it up to be able to see the hole.
No, I'm saying like my face doesn't reach that far.
Oh, your face doesn't reach that far. Oh, I see the problem now. Okay. And this clearly is not a good system because these are just going to come right out. So I'm probably going to get a little band clamp to put here and here to hold it, and probably here. Because because that's going to cause a vacuum leak. So we'll revisit that. We got 3 band clamps. This is perfect. Let me grab a flathead. Now I have it. And let's stick these little fellers on here. There we go. Oof. Jeebers. Jeebers beavers.
You're not speaking English.
Ah. That's fine. That's fine. See, what we're gonna do is we're also not gonna tighten all these little rascals down until we get it in place, because I don't want to have to be able to adjust something and not be able to. Like right here, see? So we're gonna pull this off, spin this around to the other way, which should make this easier. Put the breather line back in. Okay, so they are 1/4 inch. This should make my life just a slight bit easier. I'll try to hold this on as close as I can get it. All right. And now the last one, which will be this one. We'll stick the next band clamp on right there. We'll push it on. We'll get it set right where we want it, and we'll tighten this one down too. Is it just me, or is there something really satisfying about the sound of a ratchet?
It's just you.
It's just me?
Yep.
You sure? I mean, it just sounds like you're doing stuff, you know? Like you're accomplishing something.
No.
There you go. Those little guys are nice and tight, so now we're not going to worry about having a vacuum leak anymore. And since we're already here, we might as well just go ahead and finalize tightening the carburetor down. Since I've got the ratchet out to the socket. There we go. Don't want it too tight. That's not necessary. Just need it good and snug. There we go. All 4 corners are down. And let's give that a try. And we're going to look inside of these gauges right here, these sight gauges, to see the fuel float level. And we're going to adjust them with this and with this right here. So let's go ahead and turn the fuel pump on and see if we get any fuel shoot up in the system. Which it should. See anything?
No.
There we go. All right, you see that right there? Mm-hmm. That fuel bowl is coming up. And so is that one. And now they are way too high.
Oh, it's spilling.
Yep. Which is why we're gonna cut it off. So now we know we've pretty much guaranteed to flood the engine just now. But that's okay. Now we can go ahead and adjust everything the way we need it. Anyways, finally got the floats adjusted on the front and the rear for the primary and the secondary. Fine-tune the idle just a little bit, and now it starts up without even having to touch the throttle. I'll show you. Check this out. I'm gonna have my feet outside the car, right? So I'm not even gonna touch the throttle. I'm just gonna sit down and turn the key. Just like that. Oh man. Well, apparently I turned down the idle adjustment screws too low. Or the idle mixture screws too low. So whatever. But it tried to start, which proves my point. So whatever, we'll fine tune that, not a big deal. But it's running good now, it sounds good. It's very responsive on the idle. So I think that's a job well done. Alright guys, well that does it for this video. Yes, I'm shooting my outro in my living room, and if you're wondering why, that's because in the video that you just watched, my hair was everywhere, I was tired, I was dirty, it was late, the vent fan was going in the shop, it was annoying me. It was not a good outro, the original one that I shot. So, here's the new one. Anyways, thanks for watching guys. Like, subscribe, and share the video if you will. Turn on the notification button so that you'll get notified every time I release a new video. And we'll see you next time.